Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the UltimateE All Stars Championship. This weekend, it's me, Aditya Patel, on the commentary, along with my good friend and co-commentator, business partner, and whatever you want to call us, Arman Ibrahim. And the two of us are going to take you through what we feel is going to be a stonker of a race, like Anjan always says. Unfortunately, Anjan couldn't make it here today to be in the commentary box, but he will be back soon. So, Arman, what do you think? You think today's race is going to be as exciting as we had last week?
I think we're definitely going to miss Anjan because of all the excitement that's leading up to this race, Aditya. And it's a pleasure to be back. For this time not in the car, but actually sitting outside. But we're in for an absolute cracker. We've got as of now on the grid we've got 24 drivers who are sharing 12 cars in this tight and twisty, flowing sort of a circle with a lot of variance and one of the circles in Japan that creates a lot of exciting racing that's going to be provided for us today. But yeah, we're at Okayama right now, just coming to the end of practice, and I tell you guys, we're in for a real treat this evening with UltimateE, in our GT Endurance Championship. We've had some really close racing in the first two rounds. And now this weekend we've got Okayama today and Spa-Francorchamps tomorrow. So really pumped to see what these guys put out there. I remember yesterday in practice as well, the times were really close. And as we can see today as well, it's a long race, so there's going to be a lot of strategy involved, and we'll see who comes out on the top.
Yeah, it's a tight track. It's just like it's not the same as Lime Rock, but I would imagine it's similar in many ways. So we saw the times in practice; they were not that far apart. We saw most of the guys in the top 10 were within a second of each other. So let me just run you all through the teams. This weekend we've got Arjun Maini and Dushyant who are sharing the car. They're driving an Audi. Soil Shah will be sharing the car with Ayan Sharma in a Ferrari. Sai Sanjay and Sai Saran, the brothers, in the Mercedes. Then Amit Kuti and Avinash Gupta are giving it a miss this weekend. They won't be there for today, but hopefully they'll be back tomorrow. Abdul Fatah and Abdul Hadi, the Abdul brothers, they are sharing a Ferrari. Rohan Shankar, Ankit Roy, third in the championship behind the brothers of the Abduls in the sides, sharing a Ferrari as well. Shahan Ali Mohsin this weekend with Advait Deodar in a Mercedes. Tejasvi Shetty, Oshan Kotadia, another very fast pair. The two of them in a Ferrari as well. Ronnie Wexelberger, this time sharing the car with his good friend Andre Geis because Sebastian may or may not make it. He's in Mallorca, he's got some work, but hopefully he'll make it before the end of this qualifying session. Ronnie and Andre will be in the Audi. We've got Vishnu Prasad and Najib Ahmed once again in the Audi. Ritesh Rai, Vishwas Vijayaraj in the Audi as well. Chetan Korada, Chetan Korada and Vikash Anand in the Mercedes. Mahavir and Lee Keshav unfortunately won't make it today, and then we've got Varun Shah and Gaurav Matthew in the Mercedes. So it's a great grid. We've seen that all of them can be super competitive. Most of the teams are a mix of tier 1 and tier 2 drivers. Some of them, of course, faster than the others, which makes for some interesting racing. We've seen that you really can't predict who's going to win, especially in Lime Rock and Daytona the last week. It was all the way till the end they were fighting. We had a last lap incident between the Sai brothers and the Abdul brothers where I think it was Abdul Fatah who was behind the wheel. Got a little bit anxious, tried to pass Sanjay, and they made contact. But still somehow Sai managed to bring the car across the line and win the race, followed by Rohan Shankar, Ankit Roy, and in third place was Abdul Fatah and Abdul Hadi. So let's see how it goes this weekend. We've seen that practice was really, really close, and we're seeing it again in qualifying where 5 minutes in, it's Ronnie Wexelberger on top in the Audi, but he's only 15 hundredths of a second ahead of Sai Sanjay. So it's really, really close on the top there. And we know that the Abdul brothers as well can be very, very quick here.
What's great to see is that it's a mix of, even though it's a tight and twisty circuit, and we have three different manufacturers who occupy the top three. We have the Mercedes in the lead right now with Sai. Right. We have Ronnie in second in the Audi, and third we have Abdul in the Ferrari. So that's I think that's another point of validation, really, that all three manufacturers can be competitive in any characteristic of a circuit. Sorry, but yeah,
yeah, right. But it's going to be interesting in Spa. We know Okayama is twisty. It's got its fair share of long straights, fair share of tight corners. But I'm really curious to see what happens in Spa, because you and I both know that Spa is not very forgiving for a car that's doesn't have engine power. You really need the grunt at Spa, because you've got a long uphill coming out of La Sauce through Eau Rouge and Radion, all the way till the end of the long straight, and the engine really matters there. Whereas Okayama, as you noticed, got a lot of ups and downs. So um, it's going to throw up some interesting results. And we're seeing that the guys on top right now, it's Tejasvi who's the second off the leader in fourth place, but the top three are within a second. Abdul Hadi now has moved to the top. So there's really nothing to choose between the top. It was Ronnie a couple of minutes ago, then it was Sanjay, now it's Abdul Hadi. Who's it going to be next?
And as the fuel load comes down, I think we're going to see those times tumble even more, Aditya.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
right, actually. I didn't think of that.
Man, going back to Spa, yesterday when we held our official practice session, at least in Okayama, where we had the first test, we saw again a mix like what we see in qualifying. But in Spa, I think tomorrow we'll be, at least in qualifying, the Ferrari and the Merc will be where my money's on. But coming back to live action now, as you said, I think times are going to be tumbling down, and as they go on to the session, it's going to be between the top three or top four. But who we can put our money on, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to choose. And we've seen that Shahan has been very, very quick, and we're just getting a message in that his times are not getting recorded. So, sure exactly why. Not sure if it's track limits or what
So
it
there,
is, but
so there are two variables for this. One is like you mentioned as well in the race selector chat that the game is very strict in terms of track limits. And as soon as you get the warning sign saying that you've gone across the line, or where you've over accessed your track limits, then the time does not be shown. Like in practice, they do take your time in, but in qualifying they do not. The other possible problem that might occur is a lack of internet connectivity. That might be an issue as well. If your internet connection is weak, your time does not get recorded. So
oh, is
he
it
will
okay?
have to check both. He will have to check both of them, and just to make sure that he's covered on both
Mm-hmm.
ends.
We're watching him now. He looks to be running pretty fine. He had an incident just coming around towards the end of the last lap, and we saw him slide around on the first corner. So it looks like he is struggling a little bit with the setup of the car. But we saw last week, if you remember, he was super quick. He qualified, I think, P2 in Daytona. If it was the second race, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see if he can pull something out of the bag today. But right now, watching Abdul Hadi, superb livery on the car today. Last week they were white, but now they seem to have worked on it during the week. It looked really wild.
Yeah, they've spent the week really beautifying that car, and why not? I mean, it's been they've been competitive right through, and I'm sure they have. I'm sure everyone at home there is just cheering for them, and it looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's great
It
to
looks
have a car
superb.
with good livery as well. I mean,
I think
um,
he knows he's done his job. So now let's
yeah,
just see. Now it is down to Ronnie. Tejasvi has managed to sneak in. Tejasvi and Sai Sanjay exactly the same lap time. So let's see if one of them managed to, or any one of the three of them managed to challenge Abdul Hadi on the top right now.
yeah. Another shout out should actually be to Ritesh Rai, who's really grown leaps and bounds in the last couple of months since we've started UltimateE and started conducting races basically. But he's really come into a consistent top six spot in qualifying, at least, because even in Daytona I think Ritesh is quite competitive at least in qualifying.
I think there's a little secret for everyone to know here. Ritesh is Arman's cousin, so I think Arman's been giving him some training over the last couple of weeks. That's why you see Ritesh is probably really quick now. So, but super job by him actually to be consistently in the top six. I mean, with competition like this, right now he's ahead of Sebastian only just. But I think Sebastian, I'm not sure. Does this game allow him to finish this lap, because there's 7 seconds left in qualifying, and he may or may not, depending on the game rules, may or may not finish the lap. Let's see. Nope, he won't. I think that's the end of qualifying there.
Yeah, he probably passed the checkered flag after it was dropped out there. That's probably why.
Ah, okay. Now
You
we're
get your
watching the
you get
clock
your
then.
split you
Yep,
get your
you're
split
right.
times, but the lap would not be counted, obviously.
Yep. And anyway, now they're gridding. We saw a close qualifying session. It was Abdul Hadi on pole, followed by Ronnie Wexelberger in second. Tejasvi Shetty, super job to put himself and Oshan Kotaria up there in third place, ahead of Sai, who is very, very quick actually. So Great job by Tejasvi to be ahead of Sai Sanjay and Sai Saran, followed by Vishnu Prasad. Good to see him there as well in the top five. Ritesh Rai in sixth place. Sebastian Grunert in seventh. Ayan Sharma in eighth. Ayan, who's sharing the car this weekend with Sohil Shah, so they are going to be a car to watch out for as well. Sebastian Grunert is all alone, all by himself, so he will be serving the 18-second time penalty this weekend. Ritesh Rai is sharing the car with Vishwas Vijayaraj, and we've seen that they can be really, really quick as well. So um, let's see how that goes. Let's now we go down to the bottom of the grid. Um, there we see Ankit Roy, who is with Rohan Shankar. They're third in the championship right now. Dushyant with Arjun. So these two cars are also going to be making their way up the grid as the race progresses. Varun Shah and Gaurav Matthew in 11th. Super job. They've actually put themselves ahead of Vikas Anand and Shahan, who didn't get a lap in, unfortunately. Not sure why, but hopefully he can make up for it in the race. So we see there that the cars have got themselves in order on the grid. And we've had races here before, actually, in Okayama Arman. If you remember, we did one of our first races in iRacing in Formula 3 cars, and the first corner was disaster. So, what do you think it's going to be like in a GT3 car?
I mean, this time we've got a rolling start, so they will be a little more well behaved. But saying that, the first corner is a third gear corner, and in GT3s, I'm hoping that the people make it through cleanly. But I'm more worried about turn three, which is the cambered hairpin, second gear corner, and
Find out, shall
that's
we?
where I'm
So they come
a
here
little
on
more
the last.
anxious.
Yep, they come around the last corner and they're off. We've got Abdul who sprinted away in the lead, followed by Ronnie Wexelberger in second, Tejasvi in third. I think that's Vishnu Prasad who's made away. Oh, there's someone
Someone's
gone
off
off
there.
there. Looks like a Ferrari of Sohil Shah and Ayan Sharma, but he's back. He's back where he's fallen back a little bit, but back on track.
Oh,
Tejasvi, just going off all by himself. Looks like Vishnu Prasad made a little bit of contact with Ritesh Rai there. I don't think Ritesh is going to be very happy about that. And I'm sure Vishwas is going to be sitting at home, jumping up and down. They just got a message that they didn't let Arjun and Dushyant on the grid. Not sure why. We will investigate that, but let's see what the problem was there.
yeah.
Watching the top three now, they've already made a clean break in front. It's Abdul Hadi leading from Ronnie not letting him get away, followed by Sai Sanjay really, really closely. And then in fourth place, a little further behind, we see Vishnu Prasad. And he's followed by Sebastian again, really close. And Ritesh Rai, unfortunately, dropped back in the two of them between Vishnu and Ritesh. So, a few unfortunate incidents there, but I think the
But you
gainers
have Sebastian make a move on Vishnu there.
Oh, that was a
the
super
tight
move.
left-hander.
I don't think Vishnu saw that coming.
He did not expect that.
he didn't see that one coming. It was a super move there by Sebastian. Yeah, I think he lost out the most though. I see a green Mercedes. This is a green Mercedes. It's probably Vikas Anand because he started really far back. Yes, it is Vikas Anand, and he's up to sixth place. So superb first lap there for Vikas Anand.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've realized with Vikas actually. He might not be the strongest qualifier, but he always seems to get the results in the races. I think his key is to just stay out of trouble and to pick his places on the first few laps. We see a white Mercedes spinning off. I think that was Shahan, if I'm not wrong. Either Shahan or Advait, basically
Shahan,
Advait
Shahan
car.
in the car in the white Mercedes. Yep, you're right.
But the top three have clearly broken up from the rest, and you see Abdul Fatah basically Abdul Hadi actually breaking out a little bit of a lead of 1 second to Ronnie, and Ronnie is followed closely by Sai Sanjay, who's trying to pile on the pressure, getting heavily on the brakes right on in this tight right hand hairpin. And there you see Vishnu making a move on
Vikas there.
On
But
Vikas
they're having
there.
a nice little battle here. But
Good
where's
tussle going on
Sebastian?
there.
Sebastian had moved up, if you remember, to fourth place, but he's fallen back again. We seem to have missed something here.
You're right.
I don't know if he went off all by himself or what happened there, but it's a good battle here between Vishnu and Vikas. Let's hope they keep it clean. But Vikas, super job by him actually in the first lap to come all the way up to the top 5 from when did he start? 13th, I think.
Yeah, he's done all the way at the back, and now, like you said, he's there in the top 6 or top 5, and fighting for it really. He's trying to score as many points as they can.
And Abdul Hadi, in the meantime, is making merry because the two of them behind him, Ronnie and Sai, they're actually having a battle between themselves. He's just let Abdul Hadi just about creep away a little bit in front. So it's actually an interesting time to now talk about some of the drivers. So Abdul is basically just a sim racer. Actually, he's never done any racing. He got onto sims pretty recently. Abdul and Hadi and Abdul Fatah.
I think both the
Uh,
brothers really.
both the brothers, yeah, and they're doing really well for guys who they've done a little bit of karting, but not really much, not really professional. And they, from what I've heard and what I've spoken to them, they are keen to get into motorsport as well. Their dad does have a background in motorsport, so it's good to see these guys uh, teaming up as brothers and actually showing everybody what they are made of. And in second place, we've got Ronnie Wexelberger, Andre Guys. Ronnie, we all know, is a stunt driver. He has a connection with India. He's married to an Indian. He has been traveling to India for many years with Volkswagen as well as a championship instructor with the Volkswagen Polo Cup and
Oh
Pinto
wait,
Cup.
Sai's just
But as
making
we
that
speak,
move
we see
there,
Sai
and he's
making a
right
move
on
on
that
Ronnie.
left-hander, and he's taking stick.
Oh, good
But
one by
Ronnie's gonna
Ronnie,
give it a
who was
fight.
not.
Nah, he's gonna place up. But that was a really optimistic move by Sai there, and yeah, he managed to pull it off.
Super move by Sai, actually. I don't think Ronnie saw that coming. He waited, and he just snuck it in last minute. But I think Ronnie's not going to make it easy for him now.
But I think that's the one corner that can really catch you out, because you're a little blind when you're turning in, just as the track fades away, and being the car behind, I think you have a better optic of the corner, and that's where you can make the opportunity, and take that opportunity really to make that move.
Yeah. We saw that before also between, I think it was Sebastian who made the move on Vishnu, and he made it
Yeah.
look so easy when he did it. But now it looks like Sai's managed to just start to break away a little bit from Ronnie, but Ronnie on the brakes, oh, he's decent on the brakes. He
I,
really
I,
comes charging in.
I think that's the strong part of that's the strong area of the Audi really, where you can really pile on the brakes. With the Merc, you have the torque that can take you out of the corners. So it's the balance of both, where the driver has to find the strong points of the cars and make the most out of it.
Yeah, I've noticed this actually, and I've noticed Ronnie take advantage of that. You see when he breaks into a corner, particularly, say, a hairpin.
Oh, oh,
Ooh, that's just a little bit of contact there. Sebastian getting a bit too close to, I think it's Ayan Sharma in the car, but managed to make it stick. But he seems to be falling back every now and then and making his way up. No, that was Ankit Roy and Sebastian. So it's Ankit and Rohan, but good job there by Ankit to actually not go off. And that means he can now start to keep his car clean before he hands it over to Rohan. Now we're watching Shahan here. Shahan has made his way up quite a bit because Ritesh, like you said, he qualified in sixth and now he's down to ninth. He had that incident with Vishnu early on, but all those incidents have actually allowed Shahan to start to make his way up. And Shahan, super job again. He started all the way right at the back, now up to eighth place, and he's got Sebastian. No, he's got Ankit actually not
no,
too
they
far in
they
front.
catch up with Ankit Roy really. And
Yeah, they caught up with Ankit.
you'd expect them to be a group soon. I mean, I think both Shahan, and he's dragging Ritesh with him, and soon you'll see the three of them fighting for a position again.
Yep, I think we'll see that pretty soon. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, you watch Ronnie in the Audi and he does it really well. You see when they come towards a hairpin, he breaks across the track into the apex of the corner, whereas the car in front is braking in a straight line. And you'll see that now. You'll see how, not on this particular corner, but you'll see it on the hairpins, like I said. You'll see how much time he gains when he does that. And I noticed that in Daytona as well. It gains him a lot of time. It's just that um, I don't know where Sai managed to find that little bit of speed to get Ronnie by surprise, but yeah, he's done a super job of it. But you see what I meant there? He came across the track while he braked into that corner.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I've always said, the Audi being the mid-engine car, and obviously lighter than the Mercedes, it has a lot more balance under braking and through the mid to the exit of the corner. But once you get on the power, that initial torque of the Merc just happens to pull it out. So the Mercedes has always been stronger in the medium to higher speed corners just because of the long wheelbase that it has. It's just about each of them finding the balance, but definitely in the infield you can see Ronnie really making the most out of the brakes there.
Yeah, you can see Ronnie really good on the brakes, and that's where he gets his advantage. And it looks like Vishnu in fourth place seems to be having an easy time.
Oh, here
Oh,
you see
Shahan's getting
Shahan
a
trying to
bit
make
aggressive.
another. I told you this group is going to form again. And there you have
Yeah,
Ritesh who's coming.
but Vishwas was just sending me a message. He's saying that Shahan's
Yeah,
car keeps disappearing, and I think
yeah.
Ritesh is having trouble because it's not really ideal when the car in front of you keeps disappearing because you don't know where he is, and that's what normally leads to netcode in this game when you make contact with someone, and it's only because of the internet. So the car disappears, and you don't know where the car is at that point in time, and then you end up making contact. There you see
Which
Shahan
we
has
can see
disappeared,
on
but
our screen right now, and yeah,
and he'll come
Vishwas did.
back. There he is again. See, he's come back. So luckily, Ankit saw him, and
Oh, but then no, but Ritesh and Ankit collide
oh,
because
no.
they got distracted, and I think Ankit was just a little famished by what was going on in front of him because with the car appearing and disappearing, and didn't really notice Ritesh on beside him, and they made contact really. But luckily, he's rejoined the circuit and just behind back.
Yeah, and then
But
now
another
slowly
thing I don't think you
sped up.
noticed out there, there was another car parked on the right hand side on the grass while this battle was going on. I wonder if that car made it back on track. I think we'll see who that was once they all passed the start finish line. I think this is the Audi that was on the infield earlier.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was because the Audi we're watching now
Yeah, it
is
was
the
Vishnu. It
Audi
was
of
Vishnu. It
Vishnu.
was Vishnu. You see Vishnu's drop right down in front of Tejasri.
He has actually. He was up there in sixth. He was in fourth place. We were just talking about him in fourth. It looks like he's made a mistake somewhere.
So that was the car that I saw on the infield who was parked on the inside. So he's obviously made a mistake and he's gone off. And you see him drop right to the bottom.
I don't know what he did there. That's unfortunate for Vishnu because he was really quick actually, and to be up in fourth place would have put him in a good position when he handed it over to his teammate. But now that's going to affect his race. But we're watching Shahan. Shahan is doing a super job making places up right now. He's catching Vikas Anand really, really quickly, and that will put him in the top five. And he's also not too far off Sebastian's pace. So the possibility of him catching Sebastian is there. We know that Sebastian is serving an 18-second penalty today, so he's going to try his best to push as hard as he can. He will make a pit stop, but then he will have to serve that 18-second penalty at the end of the race. It will be added to his time. So that's why everybody here needs teammates. That's what makes this format special. And you work together to get each other faster, and we're seeing that with a lot of teams actually now because the faster drivers are helping their teammates with less experience start to pick up their pace, and we're seeing the difference between last week and this week. And I'm sure by next week we'll start to see closer grids, and that's why we actually put this format together. It's to help the youngsters actually to come to be encouraged to come and join this form of racing, to come and join this form of sim racing, because then they know that they have the opportunity to learn from the best, to share a car with the best. So there are no secrets. It's all out in the open. And the best man obviously wants to win. So when he's paired with someone who's junior, someone who's new, he's going to help him the best he can to improve his or her pace. And we're seeing that in action right now. But anyway, right now we're watching Shahan and Vikash, but it looks like Vikash has upped his pace because they've caught Sebastian again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just a little bit, but Shahan's really reeling them in, and the more pressure you apply, is the more likelihood of someone else, the guy in front making a mistake, and that's what usually happens. But the reason, ladies and gentlemen, as to why Sebastian has an 18-second extra, time added towards his overall race result is because he's driving alone. So that is why Aditya mentioned that it's so important to have a teammate and the whole process of this is, like we said, to put together tier 1 tier 2 drivers together, which in real life what we have is called pro am. Is just to mix it up a bit and to help the beginners really, or the younger drivers to get to pace with the help of the pro drivers who've been around for a while or who have a lot more experience. But I think the mix of it really adds to the strategy, and who starts, who qualifies, and who does the second half of the race, and it makes it really exciting for the spectators really, and for us sitting outside the car.
Yeah, we're watching these two guys here, both race drivers actually. Vikas Anand, seasoned race driver, has done a lot of racing in national championships, a lot of karting as well. Being chased really hard by Shahan Ali Mohsen, whose car keeps appearing and disappearing. But Shahan, we know, is one of the best karters in the country. He's taken part in different championships around the world. Car seems to have disappeared for quite a while, though. I don't know where is he there or is he not there? What do you think, Arjun? Is
Well,
he there? No? He's
let's
not
wait.
showing
Let's
up.
wait. I'm not
It's
sure.
like the
I'm not.
ghost of Shahan. Where's the ghost of Shahan? He's just not
Maybe
there.
Shahan's just so quick we can't even see him.
He's gone. I think he got disconnected.
Yeah, I think so
He's
too. I
gone.
think so too. Yeah.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. He was really going quick.
That was a really strong drive, recovery drive from Shahan. I mean, we all know how strong he is, in real life and in actual go karts because he won multiple championships and is making his foray into cars as we speak. But unfortunately, as we've just got the message, Shahan is out due to his network connection. Hopefully, they should have it sorted out for tomorrow. But yeah, that's one of our strong cars that we've lost out in today's race.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them. Advesh was also really looking forward to racing together with Shahan. It's their first weekend paired together. But yeah, hopefully Shahan can get it fixed for tomorrow. But that's it. In some ways, I would say that's probably the annoying bit of sim racing, because you do everything right, and then your internet connection ruins it all for you. And it's really the last thing you need.
But Aditya, in hindsight, if you look at it, you can do everything right, and
That is true. I
your
know where you're
tires
getting
would
at.
blow, would confuse, your spark plug would
Yeah.
blow. I mean, you and me both know. I mean, anything could happen until the flag drops, right? So, I guess these are the technical issues that sim racing faces.
Yeah,
And
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, you can never predict what's going to happen, and I guess you can just put it down to, I don't know, electrical issue, technical issue. We get
yeah,
engine failures in real life. We get technical failures in real life. So,
yeah.
and you see people spending millions, like in Formula One, and then they go out and wires come loose. So,
Exactly, a wire, a
yeah, I
spark
guess
plug, could be
it's.
anything. But you see this now,
Ooh,
Vikas has moved aside and let Ritesh pass.
I think he
Very
made a
strange. I
mistake. I
wonder
don't
what's
think
going
there's
on there.
any
Unless,
moving aside. I think he put his foot on the gas a bit too soon, and big mistake there.
oh, you see, they just make a big mistake in the
Oh
background. He's sitting right into the
no!
wall there.
That is unfortunate for KGC there. He was doing really well, but he made a couple of mistakes.
Oh, definitely. I think Tejasvi has been one of our finds over the last couple of weekends, where he's come out of the blue and he's had a lot of pace, but obviously with more experience he'll get a little more consistent as well and eradicate those mistakes that cost him dearly, really.
Yeah, he makes a few mistakes, and Arjun, who was paired with him the first time when KGC joined us, he also said, it's unbelievably quick. He's really, really fast, but every now and then he makes those mistakes. But with just a little bit more experience, we'll see him make less and less mistakes, and then he'll be one of the quickest guys out there. And we saw he was quick in qualifying as well. He was in third place, so he matched the time of Sai Sanjay, who for us is one of the quicker guys around. So we know that KGC can be a force to reckon with. And right now we're watching Ritesh as well. And like you said, he's improved a lot over the last few weeks, and he's just getting quicker and quicker. And obviously that'll help for him and his teammate next week.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Uh, Definitely. I mean, if you look at guys like Ritesh and Vishwas as well, they've been steadily getting quicker and quicker every weekend. They've been working well together as teammates as well. I mean, obviously the strongest suit will be the Abdul brothers and the Sai brothers. Who are constantly physically with each other as well. So they keep strategizing, practicing, and planning. But I mean, Ronnie has also, when we started with the GD3s and with the Formula 3s, Ronnie was more on the mid pack, and as we've gone from week to week, he's only gone from strength to strength. And over the last, I think, 3 or even over the last 1 month, he's become a consistent top runner, winning a championship as well.
Yeah, he's become super consistent. Like you said, when we saw him early on, he was there in the midfield, and but now he's become really quick. And I think the GT3 car really suits him. suits guys like Sebastian and Andre. It's the cars they drive most of the time. So it is good to see Ronnie up there and Andre as well. Andre is a really quick driver. All of them race drivers from Germany. They all have proper setups at home as well. I've seen Ronnie's sim. It's really cool. He's got like a full motion simulator. I don't know what it's sitting on, but the whole thing moves, not just the seat. And he uses one of those Oculus devices as well. So he drives using VR and not a television screen. And it looks really, really cool.
I saw that setup, and I saw his missus on it as well. And
His missus was on it, yeah.
It looked really cool. I mean, I saw the VR setup as well, and I was like, wow, it must be really fun to like drive. And I'm really keen to find out as well how he's done his motion setup as well, because it looks quite simplistic, but it'll be interesting to find out what is exactly his process is.
Yeah, and we're looking at this right now actually. So the safety car will be out for 2 laps, and you know what's interesting? I think the pit window is going to open while the safety car is out. What do you think?
I think so too. I think we're in that window, and you will see everyone just jumping into that happens out there.
Yeah, that's going to make it really, really. Ooh, was that Vishnu there at the back there? Got really, really close to the back of Vikash's car. This has piled everybody in. Oh, what? Did Abdul just pass the safety car?
So the back markers have been given a wave around. I don't think Abdul should have passed the safety car. If he has, there'll be a penalty there.
We're just checking. I think he believes he was sent. He was asked to go through. I don't know what happened here. I don't know why Abdul was waved by or why he passed. I'm not sure what exactly happens there, but it's interesting because now that's going to change the whole race, because now if Abdul has passed the safety car, there's actually a penalty in place if he had to do that. The only guy who can do it from watching right here now is Abdul. The other can pass the rest of the cars, pass the safety car. Hopefully not make any contact like he just did.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be tight. Okay, so he's done that. Oh no, I don't know why. It's really unfortunate. I don't know why Abdul passed the safety car.
Because the wave around.
Oh, is that Ritesh in the wall? What?
Is that Ritesh in the wall? Did he get hit?
That is Ritesh in the wall. He did get hit. But he can come back and take his place, so that's fine. Yeah, and it's only a minute. There's 2 minutes to go for the pit window to open.
I'm sorry. It's less than a minute. Just less than a minute.
Yeah, it's less than a minute to go for the pit window to open. You're right. It's 30 seconds to go for the pit window to open. No, sorry, Arman, your calculation is long. It's 2 minutes to go. It's a minute and a half.
I was just looking at the race direct, and then they said less. Just trying to figure out.
27:00 is when he would. But I think now Abdul will. I don't understand now what happens actually, because I don't know why he went past the safety car. I'm confused. I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on now. Nobody knows what to do now.
No, the safety car will go in soon.
Safety car go in. There we see Abdul now catching up.
You see Abdul catching the back up.
But I'm pretty sure he'll be served with some kind of penalty. But we see the pit window is going to open very soon in 30 seconds. And the pit window is open from the 23rd minute to the 28th minute, which means from 27:00, the pit window will be open up to 28:30. with 5 minutes after that. Right now, there's so much going on actually, and I think it'll be open up to 22:00. So let's see what these guys do, because now they've got the message that the pit window is open. Are they going to come into the pit at the end of this lap, or are they going to stay out? Who's going to stay out?
If I was Sami, I'd pit immediately as soon as the window opens. I'm in, because by the time everyone gets back on pace, my pit stop is done. What would you do, Aditya? Would you stay out and break, or try and get a gap? I don't think it's worth it, really.
If I was Sai, I'd stay out. But if I am, let's go further down the order. If I'm Vishnu, I'd jump in. But if I was Sai, I would stay out for sure. Ronnie, I would stay out, because they're going to let the safety car go a bit further in front. So I think it's okay for someone like Sai, because when he starts his next lap, he is flat out anyway. He's not really slow. Safety car is going in at the end of this lap. But I think you're going to see Dushyant, Ankit, Avinash all jump in as soon as possible. Sai is going to stay out for as long as he can. But there's not much time left. There's 1 minute up already. You see, and there they go. They're all diving in.
They're all going to dive in.
They're all diving in. Ritesh is going really slow. There's chaos over there going into the pit. And there we see Sai is now resumed. It's normalcy has begun, but this is going to be interesting. Now it's really spiced things up, because Sai is going to have to push really, really hard. The two Audis of Ronnie and Sebastian.
4 minutes. 4 minutes to try and build out as much as he can. If he gets put under pressure and makes a few mistakes, it's going to be very difficult to retake that lead.
It's going to be hard, but you can see Sai is pushing really, really hard. Ronnie is pushing really, really hard, because there are some guys in the pit who are going to hand it over to faster drivers. Guys like Ayan is handing it over to Soril. Advait is there in the mix now. We've got... this gives Advait an unfair advantage, doesn't it? I think Advait will have to pit, because they haven't pitted yet. So this is going to be interesting. Advait will have to pit. Otherwise, it's an interesting situation here. Advait has found himself in an interesting position, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to pit once the pit lane window is open. I know they had to switch connections, but the fact that they changed drivers before the pit lane opened, which means that they have to make another pit stop.
Yep, you're right. He will have to make a pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see how he chooses to do so, or if he chooses to. They've done only one lap and they're diving in. All of them.
I did not expect this.
I thought they'll manage to do one more lap at least. This is interesting, because they do have time to do another lap. But they're all in, except for Advait and Varun Shah, who stayed out. They're fighting hard. Advait is fighting hard, so...
I hope Shahan does deliver that message telling Advait that he has to pit. I mean, it would be a shame,
It is going to be unfortunate. Let's see. It's good. It's a good little battle here between Varun and Advait. It's really,
and
really
Varun's not giving him an inch. Varun is not giving him an inch. I think.
He made it through. That was a good battle there. And Varun's fighting back. Varun also has to pit, and again, Varun doesn't have a teammate for today, so Varun has to pit, and he will serve a 9-second penalty, because he's a tier 2 driver. The tier 1 drivers serve 18-second penalties. Advait definitely has to pit. And then behind him, you've got, I don't know, the screen still shows Abdul Hadi leading the race, so I'm curious to see what actually is going to happen, what the game actually does.
We'll have to see what the race officials really say about that, because again, they've gained a 1 lap advantage, and they really weren't supposed to go in front of safety car, because that was supposed to be for the back markers. But nevertheless, I think behind them, what we're going to see is Advait move into P2, at least on the timing screens, and Varun in T3. But they need to pit. Varun needs to pit this lap. I mean,
Advait hasn't pit.
And is that
Sai has made a mistake. Sai Saran.
And he's dropped behind both the Audis.
That's given Sebastian and Ronnie the advantage there. Not Ronnie. I think it's Andre. Andre is now in the car. He's in the car with.
And now you look at Sohil putting up all the pressure.
Soul is piling on the pressure now on Sai. He sees that position. He knows he can get it. He knows he can jump into the top 5.
Oh,
He has that Audi of
is that Rohan
Andre.
Shankar?
Oh yeah, that is Rohan. Sorry, yeah, that is Rohan. You're right. It's Rohan
It's
who's
Rohan.
fighting
It's
now
Rohan.
really hard with Sai. Rohan fighting hard with Sai. Rohan's trying to make those places up because Rohan knows if he can get ahead of Sai now, he's got the Audi of Andre in front of him and he can try and catch him. But if
And
it
his
takes too
championship
long,
points, Aditya, his championship
it is a
points.
lot
You know,
of.
they are
He's,
second
yeah,
and
he's
third
third
in
in
the
the championship. You're right. These two guys are fighting for championship, second and third. What's going to be interesting is it's going to mix things up on the top because the Abdul brothers have
Oh,
lost
you
a
see Rohan
big
going
time.
on the outside.
Oh, he's going down the outside.
Can he hold it? I mean, there's a lot of understeer on the exit of the
brave.
corner, but he's got the inside for the left-hander. And he's there. He's carrying the speed him and they touch.
Oh, he's turned in on him. Oh no!
Oh,
That's Vishwas.
That's Vishwas who's gone into Sai.
But I think that was Rohan clearly was down the inside, and I think Sai just turned in on him. Advait we see now pitting in, and the pit window is closed, but Advait's pitting in now. A little bit late for him there.
Varun has still stayed out. Varun
also has to pit. Yeah. And I remember telling Varun he needed to pit. He in fact asked me the same question, and I said, yes, you will have to pit. Otherwise, he's got an extra penalty that he's got to.
Yeah, I mean, if a driver does not pit in the race, it's a straight disqualification, really.
Yeah, we saw Advait last time, if you remember, in Lime Rock. Yeah. Advait actually pit him. But, pit window was closed a while ago. But Advait pitted and he got a big penalty. But he pitted with like 13 minutes to go in the race, which is way too late. You can't pit that late. So, he got a big advantage from that, but that advantage was all taken away from him. And
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to look at the replays and to see, to look closely at the incident between Rohan and Sai to see exactly what went on there, and then decide what happens. But again, remember these two are championship contenders, so it's all getting it's all heated up at the moment.
Yeah, he's still showing Advait in second place, which means he has gained big time from that situation that we saw just now. We're watching a replay here between Rohan and Sai. So you see Rohan now going down the inside, and yeah, they're pretty much side by side when
side by side.
I think it was just a little bit. It was a little bit ambitious there by Sai, and he saw him a bit too late, and then just ruined his race there. But now we've got Varun leading. We've got Advait in second. We've got Abdul third, but it's interesting to see what happens between Advait and Abdul now.
I mean, we see the messages coming from the drivers saying, especially from Abdul, saying that they were given the waiver out and told to catch up again. But unfortunately, there was some miscommunication. But we'll have to look into it in detail and decide what happens post race. But I mean, all things said together, I mean, we see the biggest winners and the losers of this race up to now. Varun for sure is heading for a penalty, unfortunately, because of not pitting. Advait, we'll have to look at his exact time when he came to the pits for that pit stop, since they swapped drivers before because of Sean's connection, which was before the pit lane opened. And let's see, I mean, how far behind Abdul is Sebastian? Is he getting closer, or is there too much of a gap?
He's 7 seconds behind, and he's probably not going to catch Abdul. Abdul is going to push as hard as he can because guys like Abdul, Advait, etc., they've got a penalty coming their way, I would imagine. And then you've got, realistically, you've got Sebastian, who's then there behind him, followed by Andre and Rohan. So these are the three guys I would imagine who are realistically fighting for a podium spot, because the guys in front we'll have to see. I mean, everything will be decided post race. We'll look at all the videos, and then the decision will be made. But don't forget, everybody who's watching now, we've got Formula 1 qualifying coming up after this. Finally, after months and months of waiting, we're going to actually see some real cars on the racetrack, and we're really looking forward to it. That's why today's race is actually at 5 p.m. Indian time, and not the usual 7 p.m. But we are watching Sebastian Brunner, who I would imagine
let's make sure that everyone doesn't forget the Formula 2 race that takes place post qualifying that takes place post qualifying. And the Formula 2 race has one of our Indian drivers, Jayan Daruwala, taking part in it. It was qualified a brilliant sixth place as well. So that'll be a great race to try and watch, everyone.
That will be a great race indeed. Um, but you know who I think is missing right now is Arjun Maini. I don't know where he is because I would imagine he would have been really quick. There he is. We're watching Arjun Maini right now. He's in 12th place. He doesn't seem to have gained very much in the second stint. We've got Oshan we're watching right now fighting with Najib in front of him, but Arjun hasn't seemed to have gained very much at all. I wonder what's going on there.
Where is Arjun running at the moment? I mean,
He's 12th right now. But after the pit stops, I would have imagined that Dushyant would have handed it over to Arjun, who would have then had a bit of an advantage considering where he was. But again, we're looking at the guys on top, few of them serving penalties. Sebastian has to serve that 18-second post-race penalty as well. Can't forget that because he's driving alone. He doesn't have a teammate. So realistically, we've got Andre and Rohan who are running first and second in this race. And right now we're watching Arjun catching up with these guys fighting in front. It's Najib versus Oshan in front of him, and Arjun is slowly but steadily inching in on them. Oh, he just
runs a bit wide there, but nevertheless, I mean, this battle is going to go on for a while, so I'm sure he's going to catch them in a lap or two. But we have, as of now, we have Advait in the lead. Varun seems to have pitted finally. So you see him dropping on the order, but it's a bit late, Varun. But I mean, he has gone to pit. I think same to say that Advait made the last round.
Yeah, I think maybe the two of them will probably get a drive-through or something like that, but it depends on what the game permits. So let's see as far as the penalty goes for Advait and for Varun. But as far as Abdul goes, I'm really not sure because he passed the safety car and that's a big penalty. Oh, we're watching Arjun really barging his way through here.
We saw Oshan really cut through and try and aggressively block the inside, and I think that's why Arjun came back being like, listen, this is my space, this is where I was, and barging his way through.
He properly barged his way through there. But watching Arjun here, it's interesting now that we see Advait is now leading the race, followed by Abdul, followed by Sebastian and Andre and Rohan Shankar. So they seem to have all found themselves in a place, but the real battle is now where we were watching Oshan, Arjun and Najib actually. They were fighting for that 10th place there. We see it's for sure Advait is going to get a drive-through penalty for pitting that late, but is it going to affect him that much? Let's see. It's going to be interesting to see if it's Andre actually who has to catch him once he gets that drive-through.
So there won't be a drive-through penalty during the race. It will be a post-race penalty where we give them the time penalty, which would equalize to a drive-through.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how these game rules work. I've actually never played this game, but you seem to play this game quite often.
Not as often as I should, because most of the time I'm just hosting sessions. But like I said, I finally got on last evening to just see what everyone's going to try. 2 different cars at 2 different circuits. And, you could make out the difference of... And it's great what they've done is basically they've adhered to what the strengths and the weaknesses of each of these manufacturers are, which is similar to the real world as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to the real world because you've driven the Merc, right? You haven't driven this particular one, but you've driven the SLS AMG. I've driven the Audi, obviously, for quite a few years, but none of us have driven the Ferrari. But we're looking right now, again, we see that there's nothing to choose between them. We're watching Sai Saran fighting with Vishwas. The 2 of them are in 2 different manufacturers. But really, if you watch them throughout the circuit, there's nothing to choose. Like we saw in qualifying, there were 3 manufacturers in the top 3. So again, nothing to choose over there. So it's just great to see that the game has somehow managed to match them so evenly. And look at the details, right from the trucks behind the pit lane to the cars in the car park. Every little detail that these games have today, it looks so realistic. At some point, you just forget that you're actually watching the game.
Aldea, trust me, the attention to detail is phenomenal. Where sometimes when we take a picture to put it on social media or to just make an announcement, I am confused whether it's actual real life or is it from a game,
Yeah, but what's it like to drive? Like, I can imagine it's not that realistic. Or how close is it to real life?
I mean, I would like to say it's just like the real car, but it's not. In the end, it requires a specific style. Like I said, I think I need to spend more time on the sim, but I'm not spending enough time as the others to get a hold of it. But there are some cars that you can, it's the basic understanding that makes a difference. Where if you understand a mid-engine car, it kind of behaves like one. And for example, like the Merc, which is a long wheelbase, which has a lot of the weight in front. Once you understand that, then it does behave a certain way. But the the way the tire models work, and again, it's that feel that you get from a real car which you do not have on a static sim. And a lot of it depends on the brakes. So some of depends on what the pedals and the steering that we have in our reach. So at least with the ones that you and I have, which is the Logitech G29, coming from a real car, there is no real feel on the brakes. Where when a real car, there's a lot of pressure that's put in. So I think that's the most difficult part to get used to. It's
I think
judging
that's
the right
where
amount of braking pressure. Since we've driven a real car, to come into this and kind of acquire that amount of the brake force that needs to be put in, which is very difficult to acclimatize to.
yeah, when you're saying all that, there's a crazy battle going on here between Oshan and Najib. They're getting really, really close, but they're keeping it clean. Oshan is keeping it so clean so far, but I think he just, I don't know.
He's looking for driving.
Oh, this guy! I knew that was going to happen, but not
But
bad.
he
Najib
saves it.
held
What
on to
is
that
it? He
one.
saves it.
Saved it, but then in all this, Varun has got up right to the back of these two, and he's definitely going to wait for disaster to happen, unless Varun also tries to make a charge. But this is a great battle here going on. This is for the top 10, and Najib is 10th, Oshan 11th, Varun in 12th. These guys are fighting really, really hard to get that extra point for 10th place.
This is for that last point spot. They all want to score that 1 point, because that 1 point will make a difference. And they're so close to each other, you don't know what's going to happen, really. You look at Varun driving down the inside.
Oh, he's fully committed to this one. He's fully committed to this one. He's made it. That's a superb move. Ooh, I think he got tapped from Oshan there. He did get tapped. Oh no!
Althea, your
all that
commentator's
was
curse has struck again. The minute you said you was driving such a clean race, there have been 2 incidents in 3 corners.
That was really unfortunate there for Varun. He made such a good move, came out in front of Oshan, and then got a little bit of luck from behind. So Oshan's feeling pretty bad about that as well. So it's going to be
Another battle that's building up is between Sai Saran and Vishwas. You see Vishwas running in 7th, and Sai Saran is really piling on the pressure. Remember, Sai is leading the championship right now with his brother Sai Sanjay, and they really want to score as many points as possible, since their competitors or the championship rivals are up ahead in the top end of the field. So they're going to be really trying to try and make this move quickly and move as forward as they can.
Yeah, the championship is tied on top between the Abdul brothers and with the Sai brothers. So Sai Saran definitely needs to push as hard as he can, because we don't know exactly what the penalty is for Abdul Hadi and Abdul Fatah. Obviously, it is a big penalty for passing the safety car. So because they obviously gained a lot out of that. But yeah, Sai definitely needs to try and get as much as he can, so that he can not lose out too much once people get their penalties in front of him, because he's got guys like Advait who still have a penalty to serve. Sebastian still has a penalty, and Sebastian loses 18 seconds. So if he can stay within that window of Sebastian's 18 seconds, that's already a place up for him. And looking at the times now, I think he is... No, actually, no, there's no way he can be within that window. But Sohail is somebody who can gain from Sebastian's penalty there.
Oh, definitely.
And find himself in the top 5.
I think that's what Soul's aiming for, and slowly just closing that gap lap after lap after lap. But this has become a three-way battle, because Arjun has piled onto the rear end of Sai as well. So he's going to try and find his way past this battle as well.
Yeah, and Arjun's got them really, really quickly. And if Arjun gets past these two guys, it means that he's actually fought his way all the way from 12th place, where he was at one point when we started watching him. This will put him in 7th place if he can make his way past these two. But Sai Sai's
Wait
getting
for it,
really,
wait
really
for
close to the
it.
back of Vishwas. And Sai's getting hassled by Arjun from behind and he's starting to push as well. So let's just hope they keep it clean. But this circuit is actually giving us some great racing today. It's got so many corners that have overtaking opportunities. And everybody's taking full use of all these opportunities. But I think Vishwas is not giving any room to Sai.
But
Sai's
Sai's
got
got
on
on
the
the
outside,
outside.
but I think that's.
But if he
Oh,
overbreaks
he made
himself,
it.
he's gone off. He's gone
He's
wide.
gone
He'll
off.
outbreak himself.
Oh no. But now Arjun, we know Arjun's a really, really clean driver. He very rarely puts a foot wrong. So I can imagine he's going to wait for the right opportunity to make the move. Vishwas knows it's Arjun behind him. And I'm sure he's got Ritesh telling him as well, look, it's Arjun Maini. don't waste too much time or trouble trying to block him. But I don't know. What do you think Ritesh will tell him?
I'll tell you what's going on though, because I know Ritesh's son, my nephew, is a big fan of Arjun as well. So he's going to be telling them, let Arjun go, let Arjun go. And Ritesh is
So
going to
we
be
know what's
telling
going
him
on now.
not to. So,
But this is going to be good to watch because it's the two Audis that are battling for position now, and it's 6 minutes to go in the race. And I feel Arjun's going to make a move down so much, and he's not making it. He's
yeah,
making
he
quite
has.
easy.
There you go.
He
He's
didn't make it
already
hard.
made that move and he made it
I'm
stick.
sure
He's trying
Ritesh
to
told
be
him to let him
sensible.
go. I'm sure it was Ritesh saying just let him go. Don't bother.
I'm
fighting
sure.
with Arjun.
I'm sure it's my nephew saying no. Let Arjun go more than Ritesh. But also, I think as a team, I think Ritesh and Vishwas would just want to score some very valuable points, which would be seventh place. And I think that's the bigger picture they're looking at. And trying to learn
Yeah,
from Arjun to see
definitely.
where he's gaining time on them.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I said. As a team, it's important that these guys work together as a team because then they just get quicker and quicker. It's our first series of this format of championship. Of course, we ran one race in the V8 supercars and we saw that a lot of drivers gained out of it. So I think we got only 3 more races to go. After this, we're halfway through the championship. But I think a lot of drivers are going to gain in terms of experience by the end of this series. And it's going to be interesting to see how close they all get when we move on to the next one, because that's when the grids are going to be really, really close. All the drivers are working on their setups as well because they're allowed to change setup on their cars. They can work on that. And that really takes a lot because if you look at guys like Abdul Hadi and Abdul Fatah, they're both really, really young. They're both in their teens. So it means that if they have to work with the setup on the car, of course they've never raced, but now they're now working with suspension, ride heights, toe, camber, etc., to get that car to where it is. It's a phenomenal job by them.
Yeah, I think what this does is it just teaches you so much more and prepares you in such a good way for educates you really. So when you enter a real car, you understand what's going on, and you can communicate with your engineers and your technical team on what you feel with the car and what you prefer because you've already done your basics and your ABCDs while playing on the sim. You've tried, you've tested, and you know what works, what doesn't work with certain vehicles, whether it's a single seat or a GT3 or a touring car, and you understand basic vehicle dynamics, which is very important. And also another important factor is track temperatures. The time of the day, wind. All these factors make a difference in this game. So all that teaches these young drivers on how to react to different scenarios.
Yeah, it's true actually. We've noticed that we were watching, I think when I really saw the way the wind affects the way the drivers perform, with the way the car performs, I think we were doing a race in Daytona and we kept the wind as natural or whatever you call it in the game. And the drivers were saying that it made a huge difference because sometimes they came onto the straight and they had a tailwind and sometimes they had crosswind.
Yeah.
And it made a big difference when the wind speeds changed. And that was really interesting actually. I didn't know that games were that detailed. But I mean, even when you look at it now from this particular view, you see even the gravel traps have different colors. So it's really, really detailed. You see like there's a kart track at the back there. There's a silver Toyota Yaris parked somewhere there. So it's super detailed. But back with this battle now between Sai Saran and Vishwas, he's slowly reeling him in again. He's got 2.5 minutes to go plus the last lap, obviously. Do you think he'll catch him? Because I'm sure he wants to catch him and get that extra place off him. And he's got him really, really quickly there as well.
I mean, I think he probably catch him, but it might be just too late to actually try and make a move.
You never know. We've seen that you can
I
make
mean,
a move down the last
then
corner.
as you say,
Was that
someone makes a
Sohail?
mistake here. Is that Sohail?
So, but that's actually ruined his chances of a fifth place because we know Sebastian is going to serve that penalty of 18 seconds. But if he's got Andre 8 seconds behind him, Rohan another 3 seconds, which is 11, and then now Sohail is 7 seconds behind him, which means it just about puts him a little more than 18. Otherwise, he was within that 18 seconds of Sebastian just now, and now he's lost it.
That's a real shame there. But I mean, again, like you said, there's still 2 minutes to go. You never know what's going to happen. You know. But if we can just go back to the first half of the field, the broadcast just go back to the first half of the field and see where they're at and what's going on with them.
We're watching Advait right now, happily leading the race, but does have a small penalty coming his way for having fit in later. But that will be dealt with post this race. Obviously, we'll have to look into a number of factors.
I mean, Advait can have his moment of glory there, but yeah, we do know
can have it. But Abdul's as well, both of them had that issue where they passed the safety car in the beginning of the safety car period itself. So they also have a penalty coming their way for sure. They're followed by Sebastian, who, again, because he's driving all by himself, he would have to serve a penalty. He's going to make that. That's a good job there by Chetan, just letting him go. But he would have to serve that 18-second penalty, which is why he's pushing as hard as he is, because he knows if he can try and stay in that top 5 even after the 18-second penalty, it's good for him. But the biggest winner of all this is Ronnie Wechselberger, because he's now with Andre Geis, and he's actually going to get the most number of points because all the championship contenders around him, they lose out. But if you remember, Ronnie got disqualified last week for speeding in the pit lane. So his loss last week is his game this week.
That's true. I mean, and he's just stuck it in there. Last week was unfortunate. But yeah, Ronnie and Rohan both were not too far from each other. I think they're going to be the biggest gainers, the biggest winners of this lot, And as you were saying, that Sai has really caught up with Vishwas.
And I think it's just a lap to go now. Absolutely, and just one lap to go. It's going to be it's the last lap. And
the last lap.
Oh, this is going to be. I'm sure Sai's got his brother Sai Sanjay telling him just go for it. Because
I'm sure he's got his brother, his mother, his father all telling him, listen, just hold it together and make your move.
But this is going to be interesting because this is where experience matters, and Sai is fairly new to sim racing. His brother obviously is a bit quicker than him. His younger brother, if I'm not mistaken, and he's probably on the radio with him right now, telling him what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And he has quite a few overtaking opportunities to go on this lap. This is going to be interesting to watch because there are a number of corners ahead to do it, and Vishwas is not going to make it easy.
Defensive.
Vishwas is just making sure his car is like a wall, and he's stopping that car in the corner as well, so it's not going to make life easy for us. I don't know.
Remember, they've only got 4 corners to go. They've got 4 corners to go, and I think if he does not make a mistake, this is the corner where he's going to try and make a move. If not, then he's covered his ground.
Nope, it looks like he seems to have covered his ground. They're coming now to the last section. After this right-hander,
wait for it. It looks like he's run a little wide there.
No, I don't think so. He made a mistake there. That was a good little battle for the last lap. But as it stands right now, tentatively, we've got the winners. We've got Advait Deodar, who wins, followed by Abdul Fatah. Obviously, the two of them have penalties to serve, followed by Sebastian, who also has a penalty to serve, and he's followed by Andre Geis, Rohan Shankar, Sohail Shah, who could probably lose out because of that mistake he made, Arjun Maini in 7th place, Vishwas Vijayaraj in 8th, Vishwas and Ritesh, who did a super job there. After coming on so strong in the beginning, a little bit of a crash behind the safety car, but then managed to bring it back together. Sai Saran, Sai Sanjay in 9th, Oshan Kotadia in 10th, Varun Shah in 11th, Najib Ahmed and Vishnu Prasad. They were doing so well at one point in the race. Not sure what happened to them, but they are down in 12th, followed by Chetan Korada and Vikash Anand, who again, Vikash was up in 5th place. So we don't know what happened to them after the driver changes, but it seems like they have lost out somewhere. So, but ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching, we are going to see a few changes to this results. There are a few penalties to be served, but we've seen some great racing once again today. We will be back tomorrow at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps, so we are looking forward to that race. Next week is the Spa 24 Hours, so that's why we're running Spa tomorrow. just as a little tribute. So we hope you enjoyed every moment of today's racing. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you and good night.
Yeah, just a further point, Aditya. Ladies and gentlemen, do join us for tomorrow's race. But before that, do join us as well. We'll be streaming Formula One as well from Discord if you're tuning in. Secondly, I hope you can make it to join in for Spa 24 hours next week because we'll be featuring two of our very own UltimateE teams there as well. So please stay in touch and do join in for the next 2 weeks of some great Ultimate E racing. See you guys soon. Thanks, Aditya.